What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Today we are talking One Piece 1129. And just to set it off, Addict, Addict, Addict. I told you you're going to be angry, sad, and want to catch a flight. Was I right so far on this first episode of the flashback?
Yeah, you were 100% right. Oda, man, I'm coming. I'm coming for you.
So what was your thoughts on the episode?
Well, okay, so the beginning, we got a little bit more of Bonnie and Saturn and, touching upon that stuff, which led into the backstory. Um, I was also confused about the backstory and like basically trying to figure out what exactly the reasoning behind the celestial dragons targeting the Buccaneers was. I don't know if they explain it later on, but I did not catch the reasoning.
Uh I'm a hold off a little bit on saying that because I think they might say something later on. If I'm going to give you a few points, they didn't want Luffy's fruit to be known. And that's the thing that they keep on talking about. The Buccaneers keep on talking about.
Mm.
But what did you think about the introduction of a whole new race of the Buccaneers? And apparently they have giant's blood.
Yeah, I mean, I just think anything that is, about the lore is very interesting to learn about. Um, I was also trying to connect the dots with the mother as well because I know she did not have Buccaneer blood in her, but they went ahead and killed her. So I don't know. I think I had a lot of questions after this episode.
So no, it definitely does open up a lot of questions. But to answer that question, the one thing is the celestial dragons, mostly, the Gorosei, they want to get rid of everything connected to something that could bring them down. That was the same reason why they went and killed every baby in the South Blue before Ace was born because they didn't want anybody connected to Roger that had a connection to the Void Century. So since the Buccaneers have a connection to all of that from what we're seeing so far, right? Because obviously there's some type of connection that they want the Buccaneers gone because they had the whole born into a slave caste type of thing and they wanted to hide the Buccaneer blood, right? So just having that connection of something that they want to hide is why they, got rid of the mother. The one thing that stood out to me, which was completely dumb, was his dad sat there and said, "I'm the only one with Buccaneer blood, but please let my son go." Well,
Yeah.
apparently you're not the only one with Buccaneer blood.
Yeah. I guess
uh,
that kinda, like, flew over my head because like, I guess he was talking about, like, full blood, I guess.
if it was something that really would have stood out in the story, they probably would have said it in the story itself. But just to rewind it back a little bit, what did you think about Saturn recognizing Frankie? Well, not even just Frankie, but the Straw Hats crew. When he said like, "Oh, y'all actually cooperate."
Yeah, I actually forgot about that. I don't think I even had any thoughts about it, to be honest with you. I don't even think I gave it much thought. I was kinda just moving along with the with the
Nah, that's
episode.
that's fair enough. That's fair enough, especially with the weight of the episode. Uh, I just found it interesting that he made it seem like pirate crews don't stick together, right? Like this is a rare occurrence type of thing. But we saw Kuma's family get split up. He meets his dad again, and he's showing him the Nika dance, and he's doing the drums of liberation. And then splat. I'm not gonna lie, it caught me off guard with how graphic they did that scene where he got shot and then blood splattered on Kuma's face. I was not expecting that one. I know you clipped it on your Instagram, so you must have a lot of thoughts about this scene.
Yeah, I oh my gosh, I don't even know where to begin. The the fact that he was murdered is one thing, but another thing to be right in front of Kuma. That's another thing. Also, the blood splattering on his face is another thing. So Oda just I don't know what he was thinking, bro. He was like, all right, this time I'm gonna go fully dark with this story. And he just went all in. And I'm just like, this is only the first episode out of the 4 that are supposed to be this super dark, messed up, sad story, like, I man, I don't even know, like, I was actually kinda nervous, like, heading into it, and now I'm
Mhm.
just, like, in shock, I'm just like, I don't even know what's gonna happen next.
It is one of them moments, especially with you don't think it can get worse, but then you progressively see it get worse even after that. Because, first of all, my thoughts on that scene is the same as yours, complete shock. And like it's I wonder if they just shot him because he was happy, right? Like you're not supposed to be happy, you're a slave, or because he was doing Nika. I think it's mostly
Yeah.
because they're happy, honestly. I the celestial dragons seem very, very dumb to me. So I don't see them doing something like that, but it just adds to my hatred of the celestial dragons. Uh
Yes, I al real quick, I also hate the Celestial Dragons with a passion. Like, ever since back in, like back in, like well, when we first see them, Sabaody, I think.
yeah.
When
Yep.
Luffy, like, punched the one, I was so, so happy, and now, like, all these episodes later and, like, seeing even more stuff that they're doing, it just makes me hate them even more than I already did.
Yeah, and what hurts even more watching this is they use Kuma as a pack mule, not only as a kid, but even during the reverie and stuff. We've seen that they were riding him, and I'm pretty sure they were still doing the same thing, having him carry packages. That hate the celestial dragons even more. We go to them hunting the humans, the whole island. And on top of that, we get the reveal that the island is God Valley. How did you feel about? Well, I'll break it up into two parts. First, let me know what you thought about them hunting the humans as sport.
Uh I just think it's very disturbing to watch, and I know that, like, in terms of a story like One Piece, there's gonna be like, you have to expect these sort of things to go on, like, in the background, but it doesn't make it any easier to watch.
Mhm.
So, I don't know, man, it's just like for a storyline, it's really good, but as a human being, to see that, I'm just like, "This is insane."
Yeah, because you can only imagine what the fear of the people are like. They just came here too. They're just living prosperously. You can you might the king might not be a good king or whatever, but we don't know that. So, and then all of a sudden they're all in cuffs with targets on their back to make things worse. Not sure if you noticed that, but they all had targets on their back.
Yeah,
But
I did notice that.
and that gave me chills to see because it's like no human should have a literal target on their back, right? But then we see somebody come up and kill the king with blonde hair. What's your impression of him?
My first impression was he looks like a mix of Sanji and Frankie. Uh, 'cause
No, no, hold on. You talking about the guy with the blonde hair, right?
yeah, Saint Garling or whatever his name was.
Okay, yeah. I thought you were talking about Emporio at first, but go on.
No, no, no. That was my first impression. I was like, "Why does he look like Sanji and Frankie mixed together?"
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm curious about him and, like, if there's, like, something going on with, him and the Celestial Dragons, like, the connection there and, like, why they're hunting down, all the slaves and stuff. Yeah, that was my first impression of him.
Yeah, I think it's of course we knew the Goro say, but I think this is the first time we actually seen that the Celestial Dragons have somebody a competent fighter on their team where they're not just, either elders or spoiled brats pretty much. The reveal of that one would be pretty big. I'm actually kind of surprised that they didn't do a title card for him. When it comes to that point, which is going to be a little bit later, just remember that I'm saying I was surprised that his hair was blonde. Okay, just try to remember that. It's going to be a little bit farther down the line. We go forward and Kuma breaks free. And of course, we see Saturn. Of course, it's Saturn, right? Why wouldn't it be Saturn? And then they're dragging him back because they need to be in teams of 10. And if they don't have 10, then they all get killed. So that means even if they're being hunted, if one dies, all of them die no matter what. And that's like, what? it's a lose lose situation, right? And they're making a sport out of it. And then you see Emporio Ivankov and then a girl Jenny that comes up. Were you expecting Ivankov to be there?
No, I was not expecting him to be there. I was actually trying to remember if we had known that he was the slave because, um, if they had told us before, I had forgotten.
No, I don't think we ever
Okay.
knew that. We just knew that he was at least in Impel Down for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, so I was surprised to see him, and then obviously it's pretty clear that Jenny, is that her name?
Yeah.
Jenny, she is, Bonnie's mom. So, it's kind of cool to
Whoa,
see.
whoa, 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 whoa! What are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? Bonnie's mom? Come on, man, chill out. What are you talking about? Why do you think that, man?
I mean, same color hair. They're both eating freaking fried chicken. Like, come on, man.
I mean, Big Mom has pink hair. Come on, man. Come on. Nah, let me but go on ahead. What were you saying though about Ivankov and Jenny?
Yeah, just that it was cool to see them, and I'm assuming they try to rescue Kuma.
Yeah, because Ivankov already knew he was a Buccaneer. He already knew that, and that was surprising there because it's like how much does Ivankov actually know at this stage? This was 38 years ago because God Valley happened 38 years ago. Uh, that takes me back to the actual second part of the question. Were you expecting God Valley to take precedence in this flashback, or was this like kind of like a out of nowhere type of thing for you?
Um, I guess it was a little bit more out of nowhere. I might actually need to go back and like, f- I guess read up on or whatever about God Valley because I don't fully remember everything with it.
God, God Valley at this point in time, the only thing you know about God Valley is this is where Roger and Garp teamed up together to take down the Rocks Pirates. That's the
Oh,
only
okay,
thing that we
okay,
know about this at this point in time.
okay. Hmm. Yeah, so I'll still say it was surprising to see that this is happening there. And then on top of that, where Kuma and Saturn are basically like face to face at that place. Because we know that with like the first half of the episode where Saturn was talking about him, that he knew who he was. So there's some connection there that I'm sure we're going to be seeing within the next couple episodes.
Uh, what that Saturn knew who Kuma was?
Yeah, and like I don't know if he would have been part of the people that are hunting him down, or if something happened to where like he let him go for whatever reason.
Oh, like let him go from God Valley type of thing.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, shoot. I guess it's just gonna have to wait and see for the end of God Valley.
yeah.
Which it will probably wrap up by the end of next episode. I'm pretty sure next episode would probably be like a God Valley episode part of the flashback. I wouldn't be surprised if it just there because there's a lot of stuff that actually happens in such a short span of that. But also, did you notice when they in the church at the very beginning, right? Did you notice the symbol in the cross?
No, I didn't.
It's the same sign as like it's the same like type of logo that's in or whatever you want to call it, emblem crest or whatever that Alabasta has and Wano have, how they have this circle with the 8 dots around it. That's in the
Mm.
middle of the actual thing right there, which means that at some point in time, either this specific island or what or that church, whatever that church is, has some what we think it is like some connection to the ancient kingdom.
Oh, okay, yeah, that would be fire.
Yeah, because they all have the same type of symbol going on. They have the circle with the eight dots around it. There's I feel like there's a third country that I'm missing.
Wasn't Robin doing research on it?
But the ancient kingdom?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Every time she reads like a poneglyph or something like that, she's getting either directions to Laugh Tale or the ancient kingdom itself.
Yeah.
Also, before we go, out of all the villains that we've had, where would you put the menace of Saturn? Like how menacing he seems on introduction.
Oh, introduction alone, number 1.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, his introduction was one of the best introductions to a villain I've ever seen in my life. It was
yeah,
absolutely insane. Just like the sheer fear and terror that he brought to even the Navy, who were on his well, supposed to be on his side, um, even though he doesn't really care about them, to be honest. But just the fact that like all of them were so afraid by just like his pretty much just his hockey alone. That enough for me was basically just like, yeah, he's the number one um, best introduction villain in all of One Piece.
yeah, yeah. And there's only at first I had Anel and Kaido. I really had Kaido as number one, and then Anel following that. But I have to put Saturn up top. Imagine you knowing that these old guys are like the only thing you've seen is the portrait. You know they run thing, and the first introduction to them is this big demon that pops up. Like you're supposed to be a god, and you look like a demon.
Yeah, yeah, and just like the whole like spider imagery thing, that was another thing that just made it even more like intimidating because it's like that is not like human, like at all.
Yeah, it's not. And then they got held down by something. And I'm not at first. I thought it was hockey, but then Vegapunk said like, if it's not science, it's a devil fruit. Do you think he has a devil fruit?
Yeah, that's I was trying to figure that out too because I didn't know if it was like a new like sort of like gravity hockey or something. But Vegapunk said a devil fruit power, so I was trying to figure that out. But yeah, so I think it's cool that they all like. I know he's the villain, but like think it's really cool that like any of them on top of the power they already have also have a devil fruit.
Yeah. Uh. Yeah. No. That is. And then you see. I get it. I get it. Like I understand exactly what you're saying. Like you want to hate it so bad, but it's like you just can't. Yeah.
I kind of find that like as I'm getting older, I kind of like villains more.
Don't become one of those people, Addict. Don't become one of those people. Don't start pulling up like Thanos and Madara were right.
I mean, I don't know. It's just it's cool to see a different perspective from what all of history has told us what is right, and it's like it's just cool to see a different perspective, even like because yeah, I do disagree with Saturn and like his approach and everything of like not caring about people and just like offing them, but like I think that's what makes a perfect villain, and with a hero, you need a perfect villain. So to me, it's just like in stories, I love seeing someone that is on that level and like that much of a threat as a villain in order for the hero to overcome them.
Yeah, I totally get it. It's that pretty much that I don't want to say the foil of Luffy type of thing, but it's like yeah, you're finally getting what Luffy has been going towards pretty much, and you're starting to get that full wraparound of this is in game territory that we're in right now, and you just have this big menacing person that's like, why do y'all want to keep on doing what I tell you don't do? And it's like,
Mm.
damn, but you're treating us like babies.
Yeah, yeah, that is true.
Is there anything else that you want to talk about when it comes to this episode?
I think we pretty much covered everything. I just, for the next 3 episodes, I'm not sure if I'm gonna cry or not. I probably will, but, but, um, yeah, we're gonna see how it goes in the next 3 weeks.
I'm letting you know this now. You know how Kuma was crying?
Yep.
That's how you're gonna cry. I promise you.
Oh my
You're
gosh.
gonna be snot nose on your reaction. You're gonna
Damn. See,
dude.
he's an ugly crier too.
I mean, you would too if you
Yeah,
just
yeah.
witnessed all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because he started off smiling when he very first got enslaved, and then you see that smile just dwindle away. And the one touching thing was that he lied to his dad about his master being kind.
Yep. Yep, he didn't wanna upset him.
Yeah, even though his dad knew he was lying. Like there's he knows these celestial dragons are dicks, right? Just scum of the earth. What Obito say? Anybody that turns their back is scummier than scum or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But do you even want to make any predictions going forward, or do you just kind of want to see it how it plays out?
Well, I mean, I think it's just I can expect sadness and, just a bunch of negative things, but it's still gonna be entertaining to watch either way, so I don't necessarily have a, specific prediction, but next week, I might need a tissue box right next to me.
One last question: do you think Kuma finds happiness?
Man, I wanna say yes, but at the same time I'm like I'm like, "No." Like, he's not he's not gonna find happiness.
That's a hard ass question to answer, right? Because you know what's going on with him now, and then you see the past, and it's like, does he find happiness? That's the craziest question. But I think we'll I think we'll end it here. Um, let us know down below what you thought about this episode. Try to keep it spoiler free. Not everybody reads the manga, but also while you're down there, go on ahead, hit the like button, the subscribe button, and ring that notification bell. Catch y'all next time. Peace.